passion, energy, tension. Playing with the emotions of a listener is one of the best ways to keep them hooked on your song till the very end. Did you notice that you were hooked at the beginning of this video? That's all thanks to my favorite production trick to build tension, reverse vocal swells. In this video, I'll break down what the hell a reverse vocal swell is, how to make it and use it in your song, and then I'll go over some advanced techniques you can do to get some amazing sounding results. Let's hop in. So what are reverse vocal swells? A reverse vocal swell is just a vocal part that's been reversed. Usually before the vocal's reversed, it's got a bunch of reverb on it to lengthen the audio tail. But we'll get into that more in the next part of the video. Take a listen to what a reverse vocal part sounds like by itself. It's designed to build tension and add excitement before an energetic part of a song. Check out the energy that it adds to this particular part. I can't just say see you later. And check out what this same part sounds like without it. I can't just say see you later. It's not nearly as interesting or suspenseful. We as humans are naturally attracted towards the human voice, whether we realize it or not. A vocal swell also has the added benefit of adding in some pitch information to your track to help support the chords you already have. Double whammy, bacon Sammy. So now you understand what reverse vocal swells are. But how do you make this elusive technique? Well, let me show you. I'll be using Logic for this, but it will be the same with most DAWs. First, find a vocal note that you want to emphasize, and make sure to pick a note that's in the key of your song. This will make sure that it works with most of the other parts of your song. Then duplicate the vocal track that you're working with to make sure all the processing and the plugins that you've already added stay the same. Then cut that particular phrase out and put it on the new track. Next, I'll add reverb directly on the track itself. In this case, I used bust reverb, so I'll delete those and then add a reverb of my choosing. I'll adjust the mix knob to taste as I see fit. I like to keep it below 50% and then up the decay time if I want a longer tail. Anything above 50% tends to muddy out the sound and you can't hear that actual final swell that you're looking for. In this case, I'll try around 40% and go for around 7 seconds. I'm also going to shorten this up right here so that it actually comes into a swell like this. Adding reverb is one of the most important parts of getting a good vocal swell. Without this reverb, our vocal chop will be about as suspenseful as watching QVC. We need that longer audio tail to build up into the reverse once we finally bounce it. Once you've got your vocal sounding good going normally, you'll want to bounce that sucker in place with all of the processing settings you've saved. To do that in Logic, click Control B. Make sure Include Audio Tail is selected and Bypass is not. Then click OK, and you'll see here we have a brand new track. We'll extend it all the way out so that we get this full audio tail. Once you've extended this track out, double click on it, go into File, Functions, Reverse, and there you go. You have your reverse sound. Check it out. Listen to it and make sure everything's sounding good. If not, it's time to panic and give up. Or alternatively, you can just go back to the original vocal, change the settings, and rebounce it. And the last thing I'll do to this reverse vocal swell is add another reverb to the newly bounced track. It's really just to give it some more space. This part is optional and often very subtle, but without it, the reverse swell can stick out like a sore thumb. But there's also a chance that you do want this to be really dry and you want this to stick out like a sore thumb, especially if you're producing that new up-and-coming genre, hammer and nails. Now that you know how to use reverse vocals, you've got to understand where to use reverse vocals. Really, you can throw these bad boys in willy-nilly anywhere, but a more targeted approach is going to give some better results. My suggestion would be to use them as the transition between different parts of your song. If you need a refresher on song arrangements and the parts that exist, go check out this entire video I made right here explaining this in more detail. For example, if you're looking for a smoother transition from the verse to a pre-chorus, you can add a reverse vocal. That's a great spot for it. But by far the spot I use this technique the most is leading up to the chorus. Chorus is often my biggest energetic hotspot of the song. It's like the Energizer Bunny of my song. The more I build up the anticipation for it, the bigger the potential payoff. I'd also suggest that if you are going to drop the song like you're headlining Coachella, to add space and silence before the actual drop happens. Build up the tension with a sweet vocal swell, suspend it in midair, and then continue your free fall when the beat slaps you across the face. Check out what I mean. In this song, I have actually a reverse piano sound, but it stops right before the drop happens. Listen. I'll keep pushing on. I'm gonna get what I always wanted. All cut out all of the other instruments as well to really give that listeners the holy shart, what's gonna happen. This also has the added benefit of making that bass hit even harder when it comes back in because it wasn't there before. And everybody loves some hard-hitting bass. So now you know my favorite vocal trick, how to make it, and where to put it. But here are 5 more advanced techniques you can use with your reverse vocals to make them sound even more betterer. Tip 1. Use different reverse vocals throughout the song. Try to use different lengths and vowels for the different vocal swells in your song. This will keep it more interesting. Tip number 2. Use reverse vocals as ear candy. Reverse vocals don't just have to build the tension of a song, they can also be a really cool sound to add to the background of a beat. Tip number 3. Bounce multiple voices at once for an entire chord of reverse vocals. Just record multiple voices singing in harmony, find a part that works well, and follow the same steps as before, and now you have a full chord that swells up. Tip number 4. Reverse other sounds of your track. This technique isn't limited just to vocals, although that's my favorite. You can cut out a synth and reverse it. Cut out a piano like I just showed you in this track and reverse it. Cut out a kick drum. The world's your oyster. Tip number 5. Loop the tail part of a reversed reverb for a unique ambiance. Make sure the loop is in the BPM and then just drag it out. If you liked hearing about this awesome technique, then show me some love by hitting the like button and subscribing for more production content just like this. And that will cover almost everything you need to know about my favorite vocal production trick to build tension. The next time you're searching for a riser, ask yourself, what if I reversed my vocalist instead? And if you do that, you'll be well on your way to making some amazing sounding music. Till next time.